What's up everybody, Coach Mills here, coming at you with a brand new Overwatch video. And in this video we gotta talk about a big problem that is plaguing Overwatch, and honestly has been plaguing Overwatch for a long time, and it's the Overwatch cheating problem. And it's really been a problem since the inception of Overwatch, and it's never been fully addressed. So we're gonna break down the entire cheating problem, and you're gonna understand by the end of this video why you should care so deeply. But of course, go to the GameLeap website in the links down below for everything that you possibly need to succeed in Overwatch. Check it out right now for in-depth advanced VODs, tips and tricks, and so much more. But without further ado, let's jump into this Overwatch video. Now, for as long as I can remember, I have faced cheaters in Overwatch. Specifically, when I started climbing to Masters and Grandmaster, I faced cheaters all the freaking time. Even now, I legitimately see cheaters in my games from Diamond to Grandmaster, and on stream, you can see cheaters all the time playing against your favorite streamer. Players legitimately run into cheaters over and over again. I remember back when I used to be grinding so hard to get to Grandmaster when I was in like the upper Masters rank, and I would run into the same cheater multiple times in a night where I would either force a draw, wasting everyone's time, just sitting in that lobby waiting for the clock to tick down, or afterwards, I would feel like I couldn't even play the dang game because I was afraid that I would run into this cheater again. And sometimes I would run into that cheater so many times in the same night, so I basically couldn't queue because either they would be on my team and I'd feel like I'd need to draw, or I would be against them and I would either draw or probably lose because they would just roll me with the cheater. Now, I honestly thought that this was just something that couldn't be dealt with. This is just a problem that we have in Overwatch, and it wasn't going away, and it's just completely normal, and there's nothing you can do about it. Well, it wasn't until I started making content and covering news / playing Valorant that I realized that this was indeed not normal, and it was actually an Overwatch specific issue, or rather a lack of Blizzard dealing with this problem or treating it seriously. So that is what caused me to create this video. Now, for those of you who don't know, Valorant has a Vanguard, really complex anti-cheat system, plus an anti-cheat team that they pour tons of money and resources into so that they can be on the ball in dealing with any cheaters as they bubble to the surface. Now, while this doesn't deal with every single cheater that comes through the cracks, for the most part, you don't see that many cheaters in Valorant. Very, very minimal, if any at all. And the reason this is because of the cheat arms race. So let me really quickly break down what the cheat arms race is, and then I'm going to talk about where Blizzard is specifically failing in this arms race and basically making it so the cheating problem has never been solved. So the cheating arms race goes like this. There's a game that is popular, right? You know, Overwatch, very popular, or Valorant, very popular. Whatever game is very popular, there are always players that instead of going to a website like the GameLeap website and getting everything they need to climb, they would rather cheat the system and they would rather buy cheats. And so there's a whole bunch of people that feel like either the game has failed them or they just can't improve, so they want to go buy cheats. So because of this, there's a demand for cheats, and cheat makers feel like they can create these cheats and sell them for very, very high prices, and that is one of the big incentives and one of the big reasons that they create the cheats, because there's a demand for it. Now, that being said, because of this, these big developers of these cheating programs, they find workarounds to whatever system's in place, and the bigger the incentive is, like, you know, how much are people willing to pay for said thing, the bigger reason that they are going to create these hacks. And the bigger the money pot is, so the bigger the incentive, the more likely they're gonna make these hacks incredibly quickly to break through any given system or whatever, so that they can, you know, charge people an arm and a leg so that they can get these cheats. Now, this is why whatever system is put in place to stop cheaters will never just keep them out permanently, because there's always people that are incentivized to try to create these cheats, and as long as that exists, they will always find a way around any cheat system. But that is where the cheating arms race comes in, because the developer themselves should be able to pour a large amount of resources and money into an anti-cheat task force or anti-cheat part of their organization, so that those people can keep keep creating or fixing the cheat, putting the shields up. Every time these developers break them, they put the shields back up. And here's the thing. A lot of times the guys who create the cheats don't sell them for cheap at all. And when they get actually patched, anyone who bought them isn't going to get a refund. The cheat guy isn't going to go refund you. So you're just basically screwed out of potentially hundreds and hundreds of dollars. And the more this happens, the less people are even going to want to buy cheats, because they're going to have to dump money, and their cheat might work for like a single day or even a couple hours before a really good task force by whatever company makes the game is going to just basically put the shields back up, and that cheat that was developed doesn't work anymore. So the better the task force is, the less likely there is even going to be cheats, not just because they are dealing with it, but because there's less incentive to create cheats, because people don't want to buy something that's going to get patched over. And this is the active cheating arms race, and that is why it is incredibly important for a company to always be actually actively dealing with cheaters. You can't just give up. If Valorant all of a sudden tomorrow stopped actually adding on or changing Vanguard or putting money into their anti-cheat task force, there would just be tons and tons of cheats in a week or 2 weeks, and it would just be to the point where every single person that is playing Valorant, I mean, there's just going to be a cheater in every single game. Now, to sum this up, basically, as long as people care about your game, people will cheat, and the less developers care, the easier it will be for cheaters to cheat, and the bigger reason a cheat maker has for making said cheats. Now, this all goes back to Blizzard, and specifically Blizzard has always put the casual player over the competitive one, at least in my mind. This is true with their balance, and this is true with the cheating problem, and they have really not done much to solve this cheating problem at all. From what I've seen, most of the cheating that actually goes on gets resolved based on reports that happen, and that seems to lead to even more problems. Like one of my personal friends actually getting perma-banned from hacking. You heard me right. His account got perma-banned for hacking his new one because he bought a new account and he played it unranked and tried to rank it up and actually place it. And he was a High Masters Widowmaker main who had honestly really good aim, in my personal opinion. Pretty bad positioning in game sense. I hope you're watching this. But regardless, even though I know for a fact that he was never cheating, he's never cheated in any games ever, he got perma-banned. And this was all because he got a whole bunch of reports when he was going through his placement matches, because he was just performing very, very well, as he should. He is a freaking top tier Widowmaker player, and that is why he got so many reports. Now, even after all of that, after he got permabanned, he reached out to Blizzard and they wouldn't even unban him. In fact, they wouldn't even look at his case. They said, no, there's nothing that we can do. And that seems freaking crazy. You are not only going to put actually time and effort into making sure that people that are cheating get banned, but you're going to allow just a report-based system to ban someone permanently, and you're not even going to allow that person to appeal it, and you're not even going to look at it, even though he paid money legitimately to play your game and he got banned unfairly. Now, that being said, you might be asking why I'm even making a big deal about this. Well, in my personal opinion, and I think a lot of you might agree with me, but I'm interested if you don't agree with me in the comments down below. Going forward, and especially in Overwatch 2, Blizzard needs to put many more resources into funding and improving their anti-cheat. Competitive integrity is extremely important for any game, but especially important for an esports-centric FPS, which Overwatch is really trying to be at the forefront of esports. But in my time playing Overwatch, I've ran into hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of cheaters, and any streamer, any top player, pretty much anyone you ask in all of Overwatch has been through the same thing. And I really feel that this is unacceptable, and it's something that a lot more people should be talking about, and a lot more people should be drawing lines in the sand about. And I know, creating an anti-cheat task force is very difficult because it requires you to constantly be funneling money into it, because the second you stop, the cheaters will, they gain that incentive again, and they will all of a sudden start creating all these cheats, and you basically just have to keep this task force up forever, and you have to constantly be putting money into it. But in my opinion, and you can disagree, but I want to hear about it in the comments down below, this is a necessary cost. And as Overwatch players that want a fair match matchmaker, we should not settle for anything less than full priority into a robust anti-cheat team and system going into the future, especially into Overwatch 2. Now, basically why I know that we can't completely eradicate cheaters from Overwatch. It's just not gonna happen. There does not need to be consistent cheaters in our games. Seeing a cheater should be an extremely rare occurrence if it happens at all, and personally, I think that this is a really big deal that Blizzard needs to look into. But as usual, I'm really interested in your opinion. Do you agree with some of the things I'm saying? Let me know in the comments down below. And if you disagree, I want to know why, and tell me your experiences. Have you run into cheaters in your games, or have you more or less never dealt with cheaters at all? I'm really curious in a lot of the experiences of players, specifically in a lot of the lower ranks, because I've never really played in those ranks, so I don't really know what your experience is like up against cheaters, but I wouldn't be surprised if some players are just actually trolling with cheats on. No idea, but I really want to know your insight and your experiences in the comments down below. And go to the GameLeap website, of course, for everything that you could possibly need to climb the ranks of Overwatch. Cheaters aside, in fact, we're gonna get your win rate so high that you're just gonna be able to win even in lieu of cheaters. But thank you so much for coming by. That's all I got for you today. Follow me on Twitter at CoachMillsOW, and see you next time.